course, Breitbart.com and American Thinker contributor. All right, let me ask you first, Justin. How did that fan gate between Scott and Chris play out? Now that it's over, who will it benefit, if anybody, do you believe?
Well, it's really hard to tell. The press made a big deal about it. Obviously, it was an awkward several minutes on live television with one candidate there and Governor Rick Scott not there. Again, I hold the debate organizers responsible. I think they'll be banned from planning any future gubernatorial debates in the state of Florida. But I think that right now, a poll just came out, a robo poll came out earlier today that we had on SayfieReview.com that showed that the fundamentals of the race haven't changed. It's basically within a margin of error between Rick Scott, the current incumbent Republican, and Charlie Crist. So I don't think at the end of the day, when you've got issues like the jobs, the economy, and what's going on around the world and Ebola, I don't think people are going to make the decision based on whether there was a fan on the stage or not, or whether there was a candidate there a few minutes before another candidate.
Edmund, do you agree?
Well, I hope so. It kind of reminded me of the Dan Rather, the missing 7 minutes of dead air. Again, speaking to Justin's comments about the organizers, I often wonder what the Republicans at the Washington level, and I guess at Tallahassee too, what they consider when they agree to some of these debates and who's organizing them and who's moderating them. That seems to be where a lot of Republicans make their big mistakes. But I certainly hope that Florida will not elect, the most two-faced politician in modern American history, Charlie Crist. That would be a travesty.
All right, let's move on to some of a couple of the congressional races down there, and we have Monroe County, the next member who's gonna represent Monroe County in the Congress, and it's between Democrat incumbent Joe Garcia and Republican Carlos Curbelo. It's close, but I believe Garcia is ahead. Correct, Justin?
Well, yeah, it depends on the different polls. I'm friends with Carlos Curbelo. I spoke to him on the phone yesterday. He's feeling really good about where the race is. They had a debate on local television yesterday morning, Sunday morning television. Look, this is an interesting race. Joe Garcia is incumbent Democrat. He's a freshman member of Congress. This is an off-presidential cycle election year. It's a good year for Republicans to make gains. It's the 6th year of the Obama presidency. Carlos Curbelo is a current school board candidate in Miami-Dade County, Florida. Is very articulate, very outspoken on a number of different issues. I think he's got a real shot. He's raised a considerable amount of money, lots of TV ads, and just a lot of, a very heavily debated race. Definitely a pickup opportunity for Carlos Curbelo and the Republicans if they can defeat Joe Garcia.
That would be very important, Edmund, correct?
Oh, yes, it would. What the Republicans need to do is probably win 8 or 9 Senate seats and maybe 15 or 20 House seats. They got all the low-hanging fruit in 2010 in the House, messed up in the Senate. But I believe I'd seen a Curbelo ahead by 4 in one poll, but that at any rate, Garcia is well below 50, and that's never good news for an incumbent at this stage. But if Curbelo could win, that would greatly help the Republicans have a nice net gain in the House.
All right, briefly, Justin, the District 18, Patrick Murphy and Carl Domino.
Yeah, Patrick Murphy, again, another situation where you've got a freshman Democrat. Patrick Murphy barely beat Representative Congressman Alan West. The Democrats put a lot of money into Patrick Murphy's campaign early on, scared off some candidates. Carl Domino is a former state representative, waging a very vigorous challenge against the incumbent. This one I would rule a toss-up, but slight edge to Murphy just because the money the National Democratic Party really helped him with early on.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Justin Sayfie and C. Edmund Wright, thank you both. Appreciate it very much. When we come back, folks, it's Give Me 5. Don't go away.